Today we are having a pretty deep and a little bit lengthy conversation. I really want to take my time on this one because the last time we talked was about you're not burned out, your body is just out of sync. Okay. And so I wanted to go a little bit deeper into that conversation and talk specifically about your hair in that context. So today's topic is if your hair still isn't growing, this might be why. So we're going to walk through a few things that I believe will be helpful for you in your journey, especially if you feel like you're doing a lot of things and not seeing a lot of results, if any at all. If you're here, you're trying. If you've been following me or watching any of my content or videos, you are likely someone that has been trying with your hair. And that's what makes the journey so frustrating. Because you're doing the work, but why does everything still feel off? You're buying the products, you're watching the videos, you're doing the routines, you're trying to be more consistent. You might even be paying attention to your hair in ways that you never have before, but still your hair is not responding in the way that you hope. It still feels dry. It still breaks more than you think it should be breaking. It sheds a lot more. It's probably got you looking and staring at the sink or the comb or the floor or wherever it is that you do your hair routine every day. You may be seeing more hairs than you believe is normal. And after a while, this probably, like most women, starts to mess with you because now it's not just about hair anymore. You may also start to wonder, or if you're wondering things like, what am I doing wrong? Maybe you think you're doing something wrong. You're noticing everybody else's routine is working, but yours isn't. And it comes across as, why am I putting in so much effort and still not seeing the kind of change that I think I should be seeing? And to say the quiet part out loud, it's disappointing. It is a disappointment. It is a frustration to be feeling like you're doing all the right things, but also your hair is not thriving. Because hair health and hair restoration and all of those things can take a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy, and a lot of hope. Okay. Trying to get this right. And you end up falling into two categories. You either want to do more or you just want to give up altogether. All right. So hopefully today we can get a little more clarity, a little more context around this issue. So I want to flip or shift your thinking a little bit, because what if your hair isn't the problem? What if you're not doing anything wrong? But before we get into that, if you're new here, my name is Kendra. I'm the founder of 180 Hair, and I help women understand their hair by understanding their body. Because many times we don't have a hair problem, we have a clarity problem. And until we understand what our body is actually doing, we keep responding in ways that were never designed for us or designed for our hair in the first place. And if you don't have clarity, what happens is you keep guessing, and your guessing is costing you time, energy, money, and progress. So if this sounds like you're in the right place. Now, again, what if the problem isn't that you need more products or more steps or more effort? What if the issue is really a sign that you're looking at the situation too narrow? This is many times where we get stuck. We assume that because our hair is dry, we need more moisture. If it's shedding, we need a stronger oil. If it's not growing, we need a new routine. And many times, yes, the routine does need adjusting. Your routine needs adjusting, especially if your life is constantly adjusting and changing. Okay. But sometimes it's not the routine. Sometimes it's just that something deeper is affecting how your hair responds. And that's a deeper conversation. And honestly, that's the conversation I think more of us need to hear to bring some awareness around our hair outside of products. Because when you only focus on what you're putting on your hair, you can miss everything else that is shaping what your hair is doing. Okay. So what's shaping what your hair is doing? Your stress, your eating habits, your energy, your consistency, your body, and your lifestyle. All of that matters. Okay. So the flip here is this. Maybe your hair is not the problem. It's the messenger. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you've heard me say this. Your hair is not a problem. It's a symptom. Issues with your hair are not problems. They're symptoms, because your hair is a messenger. It's always telling you what's going on underneath your routine that needs support. If your hair has you feeling confused, frustrated, or like you don't know what to do next, I want you to come plan with me. The Plan My Hair Care Workshop is a live small group session where I guide you through choosing one focus, creating 3 goals, and one simple hair care plan using the Emergency Hair Care Planner. You'll be live with me, you can ask questions, and we'll work through everything together. So it doesn't matter if your hair is natural, if it's relaxed, if you're a beginner, if you feel helpless or clueless, if you feel overwhelmed, if you're emotionally exhausted, if you're product fatigued, or you're tired of trying everything and you're tired of trying to organize all of the information that you receive online into something that makes sense. Now, this workshop is not just a planning workshop. You'll come for help with your hair, but you'll leave with something deeper. Understanding what's happening, how to get out of the product chasing cycle, and learning to trust yourself again. Now, that's powerful. Click the link below to join the next workshop. Let's explain a little bit about what might be happening, why your hair might still be struggling. And this is where I want us to kind of like connect the dots, okay, between what we see on our hair versus what may be happening in our body, our habits, and our lifestyle. One of the biggest reasons we probably get frustrated with our hair is because we assume that our hair is only responding to the routine that we're doing right now. But hair is really not that simple, especially as we get older. Things get more complicated anyway in our body. Your hair responds to much more than what you're putting on it. It responds to the condition of your body, the consistency of your habits, the amount of stress that your system is under. Okay, many of us are under a lot of stress. And then the overall level of support that your body is receiving. That is why a woman can be doing, or you could be doing, what looks like all the things, but still feel like your hair is not thriving, or your hair is not changing, or it's not doing what you think it should be doing based on the steps that you're taking. So let's break this into 3 simple layers. We're going to make this really simple and as easy as possible. So first layer, your hair responds to your body, not just your routine. There is a difference between hydration and moisture. And there's also a difference between nutrition and products. Moisture is what you apply to the hair externally in order to soften it, to add flexibility, support, and to help reduce dryness. We know that. We know our hair needs moisture. But hydration goes deeper because it points back to water, right? Internal balance, the body's ability to function, and all of those things. So in the same way, products can support hair from the outside, but they are not the same as nutrients or hydration from the inside. Nutrients, on the other hand, are what help to build the body, repair, maintain the body over time. Again, products can help you manage the condition of your hair externally, but they cannot make up for a body that's depleted internally. They cannot make up for a body that's inflamed. They cannot make up for a body that's overly stressed. Products cannot make up for a body that's undernourished or running on empty. Products can't do that. So that's why the conversation has to go deeper than just your routine, deeper than just the products that you use. Because if your body is struggling, your hair is going to struggle. Your hair is going to struggle to respond to whatever you put on it. And it may not matter that you found the right or the best leave-in or popular growth oil. If your body is lacking what it needs internally to support strong, healthy hair, what you put on it is not really going to make that big of a difference anyway. So remember, first layer, external care matters, but internal support creates the environment that your body needs to help your products go further. Second layer, too many steps equals inconsistency and burnout. This part probably gets overlooked more often than we think, because many times women think that more effort automatically means better results. But in reality, many times our routines are simply too heavy to sustain in real life. I've seen it firsthand. They're too long. We have routines that have too many layers, hair routines that are too expensive that we cannot keep up with financially because it's too much stuff. It's too time consuming, too dependent on doing everything perfect every time. So what starts off as motivation, because when we're motivated to do something, whether it's our hair, our health, or whatever, we start out here and we think we can do all of these things. But once that motivation wears off, that's why I tell people, don't do stuff out of motivation. Don't do stuff out of motivation. Create your routine so that it's not a chore, okay? And it's not a burden. Create your routine based on the level of energy you have when your energy is normal, when the motivation settles. What can you do? How much can you do on a normal day? Plan your routine, make your routine around that, not around where you are when you're gung ho and you're up here and you're super motivated. And I'm going to do 20 steps and 20 things and I'm going to change how I eat. I'm going to exercise. Don't create your routine around motivation. I don't know how many ways I can say that, but hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. Because before long, we already know the woman who thought she needed to do more, or when you think you need to do more, you start falling off. You start skipping steps. You start changing products. You stop and start again. And then it seems like nothing is working. But the issue is not always laziness or lack of discipline or lack of motivation. Many times it's just that the routine is not the problem. You're just trying to be consistent with something that's draining you. If a routine overwhelms your mind, your time, your energy, it will eventually become something you don't want to do. And even if you really care about your hair, you just don't want to do all them steps. You don't want to do all that stuff. I don't have time. So simple routines work better in the long run because simple is easy to repeat. You start simple, and then as you get consistent in your simple routine, then you start adding layers into that. You may add a different product or a different active or a different ingredient that focuses on a specific part of your routine, but always start simple. The third layer is, this is most important, so listen here. Remember this if you don't remember nothing else. Your hair is slower. Your hair moves slower than your habits. Let me explain. That means it doesn't always give immediate feedback the way you want it to. Your hair reflects what's been happening over time, not just what you started out doing a few days ago or a couple weeks ago. This is where patience becomes just as important, if not more, than the products that you use. Because if your body has been under stress for months, if your routine is constantly inconsistent or has been inconsistent for a long time, if your scalp has been neglected over time, or if your nutrition has been off, your hair may need time to catch up to the changes that you're making. So, for instance, if you've been falling off or if you've fallen off your hair care routine for a while, and then you start making changes, you have to give your body time to adjust first. That delay or that gap is often what makes women assume that nothing is working. But when reality, the process may have just started. Your hair is not on the same week by week response system all the time. Okay. It's a long-term reflection of patterns. Your hair plays the long game. All right. When someone says to me, Kendra, I changed everything and it feels like my hair is still the same, what I hear is there may just be a gap between the cause or the symptom that they're experiencing and the visible result. And that's normal because the body may be rebuilding before the hair has any obvious effect to show for it yet. Okay. It doesn't mean that the work you're doing is pointless. It doesn't mean that the products are bad. It just means that the timeline is sometimes longer than what we expect. And we don't like that because we want stuff to change immediately. So when you put all three of those layers together that I mentioned, the picture becomes a little bit more clearer. Your hair is not only responding to what you put on the outside, but it's responding to what your body is dealing with on the inside. That's why in the beginning, I said I teach women how to understand their hair by understanding their body. You cannot just fix your hair from the outside. Products are just a small part, a small piece in your hair journey. It's not just about finding the right product. It's about creating a routine and a lifestyle that you can maintain without burning yourself out. Always compare the hair to a garden or a plant or soil or all of that corny stuff, because it's very easy to put the two together in a way that I think is just easy for many of us to make sense of it. So again, think about a plant. Many times when you have a plant or a flower or whatever, if it starts to look weak or you think it's not growing fast enough, our first thought is to put something on it, right? We want to put more water on it. We want to put more plant food on it. We want to try to find some natural things to put in it or on it to make it grow or not be dry. We give it more attention, more whatever. But if the soil is poor, or if the roots of that plant are weak, or if the environment is off, all of that extra surface level effort will only go so far. You can miss the leaves, you can miss water on the leaves all day, every day. But if the plant is sitting in the wrong conditions, it's still going to struggle. This is many times how we treat our hair. We pay close attention to the surface. We buy the products, we layer the creams, we seal with the oils, we try the growth serums, we switch routines, all of the things. And underneath all of that, because all of those things are fine. Again, I'm not telling you don't buy products. I'm just saying I want you to look at your hair as, not look at your hair as linear, as one thing. Your hair is always reflecting a deep lack of support, especially if you're experiencing a lot of problems and products aren't fixing them. Okay, we can spend a lot of time trying to improve the appearance of our hair, but missing the fact that your body, your habits, your stress levels are shaping how your hair responds. I'm trying to say this in different ways so that it lands. So I hope this is making sense. Because again, your hair is not a separate project. Your hair does not exist in isolation. Your hair is part of your body. It's connected to the life that you live. All right. It's connected to your sleep, your stress, your routines, your nourishment, your consistency, your overall condition. And this is why it can feel confusing, because you feel like you're doing everything right from a hair care standpoint, but still not seeing results that you expect. Another thing really quickly, I just thought about is comparison. Comparison can be very dangerous because many times we follow routines that we see online or routines that someone else tells us that they do. And it can be very simple or seem very simple, and we try it and we don't get the results that they did. Or we see that they're doing something fairly simple and we're doing all of these things. We got all of these steps and we are not, there's nothing showing for our effort. And again, this is why another reason I want you to understand your hair by understanding your body, because you're not comparing two identical situations. I always say, if I put 10 women in a room, chances are everybody in that room is not identical. They're not going to be identical bodies. There won't be identical stress levels. There won't be identical nutrition habits. Okay. Every woman is dealing with something different in her life, in her habits, in her body. You have to understand your own life, your own body. And once you stop seeing your hair as the problem, you can start seeing it as feedback, a signal, a reflection, a clue. Okay. Helps you ask better questions about what really needs support. And it's not always just another product. Now, what do you do when your hair still isn't thriving? So I've talked about all the reasons why it probably isn't thriving. What do you do when it still isn't? What are some of the steps that you can do? So once you start understanding that, again, your hair may not just be responding to more than just the products on your shelf. The next question becomes, what do you do with that information? Hopefully this is where you find some relief, okay? Because the answer is not go harder, buy more stuff, do more stuff. The answer is usually to slow down. I think I said this in the last video, to slow down, simplify, and start supporting the bigger picture. The first thing I would say is to stop assuming that more effort automatically means better results. Sometimes more effort just means more confusion. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes more effort just means more confusion, because if your routine has become so long and so layered and so complicated that you can't stick with it, then it's probably too much. You probably need to simplify. Pick the steps that matter most, okay, and get consistent with that first. That's why I said start with the basics, and then you can layer in additional things as you become consistent with the basics first. What are the basics? A clean scalp, regular moisture, gentle handling of your hair, and less product overload. Start there. You want to make sure your scalp is clean. You want to make sure your hair is getting enough moisture. You want to make sure you're paying attention to any changes that your hair is making over time. That's simple. Drinking enough water, making sure your body is getting enough of what it needs. Pay as much attention to your body as you do your hair. Okay, that'll take you further than any product ever can. If your hair feels dry, fragile, slow to respond, you can ask yourself what else is going on. Are you under more stress than usual? Many of us are. Our stress goes up and down. And listen, stress is normal. Your body has mechanisms in it that helps you deal with stress without causing you to to lose it every time something happens. But when you are in a constant state of stress that becomes chronic stress, that's when your hair can be affected negatively. So regular stress is fine. Another thing to pay attention to is, are you eating consistently? Are you getting through the day on just caffeine and snacks or whatever is quick? Are you drinking enough water early enough in the day to actually support your body throughout the day? Your body starts when you get out of the bed. What's the first thing that you're doing? Think about that. What is the first thing that you're doing when you get out of bed to support your body for the rest of the day or the day that you have ahead of you? Okay. Are you sleeping? Are you getting enough sleep? Or are you sleeping in a way that you're just passing out from exhaustion? That's not rest. Okay. Are you getting enough rest? These things matter more than you realize, because if your body, again, is under supported, your hair will reflect that. Another thing is it helps to stop changing things very quickly. This is a thing that I notice we do many times, because we're using a product a week or 2 weeks and then we're not seeing results and we switch. This is an issue if, again, you're trying hard and you're not seeing results you want right away. So you start a new routine, you give it a week, you don't see a dramatic difference. I call this the product chasing cycle. Buy, try, fail, repeat. You buy something, you try it for a little bit, you think it fails, and because you don't see the results you want in the amount of time you think you should, then you get rid of it and you start the cycle over again. You repeat the cycle over again. You have to give your routine time to work. Like I said in the beginning, there's a gap between the symptom of your hair and the time it takes for you to see results. As we get older, that gap can get wider and wider. Be realistic about what your progress looks like. That helps. Be realistic. Don't compare your hair journey to the 25-year-old person on social media. We have to be realistic. Okay. Sometimes product is not immediate length. Many times our number one goal, I want my hair to grow. Okay, that's perfect. But do you also understand that breakage might be the reason why you're not seeing the growth? Okay. Moisture retention may be the reason that you're dealing with breakage. Shedding might be an issue that you need to look at. Your scalp health is something that you probably should focus on first, because you're dealing with a lot of scalp issues. Progress in those areas count too. And those are the most important things that you need in order to maintain or retain the length that you get when your hair grows, because the hair is always growing. Many of us don't have a hair growth problem. We have a length retention problem. Another important shift is to make sure your routine fits your real life. I said this before, but this is where we, again, lose momentum, because we try to follow routines that look good online, but they don't match our energy. They don't match our schedule. They don't match our responsibilities. If your wash day feels like an 8-hour punishment, if your routine only works when you have unlimited time and perfect motivation, it's probably too much. Don't build your routine based off how motivated you are on day one, because most of the time we will not stay committed. Okay? Most of the time we don't stay committed when we build routines off motivation. I go to the gym. I try to go to the gym 4 to 5 days a week. 5 days a week is a lot. And I say that when I fall off, because things happen, right? When I fall off and I start going back, I'm like, I'm going to go 5 days this week to the gym. Ma'am, I can't start off. It sounds good because I'm motivated. Like, okay, this week I'm back on it. I'm eating, getting my eating back under control. I'm getting my hydration back under control. I'm going to be in the gym 5 days this week. Usually I don't. Usually when I start back my fitness routine, I'm usually like 3 days, 3 strong days. So again, when we build our routines based on motivation, we can quickly disappoint ourselves. Build your routine on the level of energy that you have on most days. If most days, all I can do is make sure my scalp is good, make sure I moisturize, okay, and that's probably about all I can keep up with, then that's your routine. Start there. Okay. Now, finally, I want you to start seeing your hair as information instead of failure. Your hair is a messenger. What does Kendra always say? Your hair is a messenger. Your hair is a messenger. Your hair is always talking. If your hair is not thriving, it doesn't mean you're doing everything wrong. It doesn't automatically. Sometimes we are doing things wrong because we don't know what our hair needs. We don't understand our hair profile. So sometimes we are doing things wrong. But most of the time, it may mean that your body just needs support. Your routine needs to be simplified. So you have to look at these things. You may need more time in your routine, and that's fair. You don't want to rush through something that is fragile or that needs more attention. That's going to be important. Just treating the surface without treating the foundation is probably the most important thing. It's not hopeless. Your hair care routine doesn't have to be hopeless. If your hair is doing some things, it's talking. You can actually look at that as a helpful thing. So we are going to close. I think I gave you enough information to help you hopefully understand if your hair is not growing or if you're not seeing the results that you expect. I want you to start looking deeper beyond products. Long gone are the days of me constantly coming on YouTube and telling you what ingredients to use, what products to use, what supplements to use, what herbs to use. All of that information is helpful, and I will still give that information from time to time. Absolutely. Because we need to learn how to read product labels. We need to learn how to, buy products based on what our hair is telling us. But also, as important, I want you to understand your body. I want you to understand your mindset around your hair habits, what you were told, the myths that you were told about your hair, your nutrition, your nutrient, your hydration, circulation. Those things are more layered than a product. So if you're just buying growth oils, because I'm seeing these small businesses pop up more and more, that these young ladies are making these herbal blends, these growth oils. And I think it's beautiful. If you're making the money, beautiful. But for many of the women in my community that are over the age of 40 and 50 and 60 and up, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not looking deeper. Okay, I understand hormones are a factor. I just did a video on CCCA, different types of alopecia. I know those things are a factor, but don't let those things be an excuse, because there are still things that you can do internally to help your body recover. Even alopecia. These things are symptoms. They're not problems. Okay, I know somebody's probably going to argue with me about that. That's fine. It's still a symptom. It doesn't change, my views on that. All right. So again, if your hair is still not thriving, it may mean that there is more to the story than what you've been told to look at. Once you understand that your hair is reacting to what you put on it and what is happening underneath, you stop chasing quick fixes, okay, and start paying attention to the bigger picture. And that may mean doing less. So sometimes you just got to do less, not more. It may mean being more patient. You got to give it more time to work. 2 weeks, 3 weeks is not enough. 90 days. I tell people all the time, when you change your routine, 90 days, that's 3 months. That seems like a long time, but it's not, because some women I've worked with have taken 6 months to see results. 6 months of consistency. You have to remember, if it took years for your hair to get in the condition that it's in, it's not going to change just because you change product. You use a new product. The time frame isn't glamorous. It's not, but it's real. Okay. And real support will take you further than constant frustration. The time is going to pass anyway. Why not take that time and just be consistent and be patient with your hair? So if this is where you are right now, do not let disappointment push you into panic. Okay. Let it push you into understanding. Hopefully the information that I give you is helping with that understanding. Your hair is not fighting you. It may just be reflecting what needs support. Now, if you found this video helpful, please like the video or hype the video or share, or if you're not subscribed, please feel free to do so. Links to my products and services will be below. I don't like to do a whole lot of marketing my products, because more important than buying products, I want you to understand what your hair needs. I want you to understand your body first. And understanding your hair is not a luxury. Understanding your hair is not a luxury. It's your power. And my mission is to help you step into that power and become the woman that knows exactly what she needs. So I'm going to leave you all with that. And I appreciate everyone being here. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.